Now it's recording. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Martin Brissol. Welcome. And today I'm with Justin Perkins, who is a coach and also else with entrepreneurs in this times of opportunity. We'll call it that. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you, Martine.
And I will ask you the same question I've been asking everyone: is that how does having this understanding, the inside out understanding, or all human works, how does that help you navigate the COVID-19 time?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So I'm going to actually share that we actually did this already and forgot to push record. So as an example of how this understanding is helpful for me, it's helped me be more relaxed about things and actually a lot more adaptable and sort of seeing reality how it is. And so it's a great example of how we can just kind of let things go and still be in the moment and see what comes up fresh. So my answer might be slightly different. We'll see. Um, but what's been really helpful for me about kind of understanding better how the mind works is really being able to see what's actually happening. And before COVID-19, I had been working in a career job that I had enjoyed for a better part of 14 years. And that job was no longer making sense to me anymore. And yet I didn't know how to leave that job. I felt like I was kind of stuck in a box. I was too old. I was um, too specialized, all of the things we tell ourselves about why we're stuck. And actually 2 weeks before the lockdown happened, I had given notice at my job. And I didn't do that until I had a couple of other contracts lined up. So I had, I think, 3 contracts. One of them was what I would call an anchor contract. So it was enough to be sort of a significant portion of my income while I sought other opportunities. And so all of that made sense before the lockdown happened. Um, After lockdown happened, a lot of those assumptions changed. And so what was interesting was to see that um, once the parameters changed, I had a choice. It was either continue pretending like the world hadn't changed, or look fresh at what was actually the reality of my situation, and then go talk to the company that I was contracted for and make a new agreement based on the new parameters. So what was interesting was in that case, it didn't make sense to continue with the same assumptions because I couldn't physically go to the office where I was supposed to work and a lot of things that had made sense before the lockdown. So I had to let that go as much as that was my anchor client. Um, so what happened was though, my feeling didn't change about leaving my day job, even though the the situation looked pretty dire in the world. Somehow that just really made sense for me to keep going. And the most beautiful thing happened the day after I left my day job, which was April 30th. Um, I signed up my first 6-month coaching contract literally the next morning, and this was a beautiful way that it came together. This is a woman I had worked with 16 years before, and she popped back up in my life. And I'm just so thrilled to work with her. And then through a series of other events, I ended up with 3 other 6-month coaching contracts. And that easily replaced the income I was going to have from this other work. So what I learned from all of that was that the more that I can not be afraid of my feelings, which go up and down all the time, the more I'm able to see in the present moment what's actually happening. So a year ago, I would have been absolutely terrified to leave my day job because of all of the fears of doing that. I'm 45, and so there was a lot of thinking about that. So it was amazing to me to be able to go through that threshold, but have that be just sort of a normal experience. So what I've seen more and more is that um, I've been able to see that it's actually the thinking we have about the situation that's causing our feeling, whether that's good or bad, not the situation itself. And so the more that we are able to kind of understand that feeling anxious will pass and it's just a feeling that is temporary, the less scary that becomes. So often we're scared about the feeling of being scared more so
or,
than actually being scared.
or
Or
thinking that it
the
means
other,
something.
or the thing, yeah, yep. So the other part of that has just been, it's literally like um, it's literally like less energy spent on thinking about the past or thinking about the future, and less fear about what's going to happen. And the correlation with that is the less I'm thinking about anything except where I am, um, the more time and the more energy and the more optimism and the more opportunity that I see. So it's almost like things slow down. You're more in the present. And as you're more in the present, this is kind of what happened before I left my job. I started to see opportunity everywhere, including after COVID hit. So it's almost shifted to where disruption becomes an opportunity, or the word crisis-opportunity is a nice way to think about it. It goes back to the Chinese symbol of crisis is the same symbol for opportunity. So as you're more present, the more you see, and the more you see, the more opportunity there is. And then it's just a matter of logistics. So when my conversations slowed down and I stopped thinking about myself or worrying about how I was trying to impress another person, or worrying about, oh, am I going to turn this into a client, or am I going to turn this into resources? The more present I was, the more I could listen, the more I actually heard what the problems were to solve, the more helpful and responsive I could be. So that's how this understanding has really helped, is it's taken me less from kind of thinking or thinking about my thinking and more into just seeing reality as it is.
Beautiful. Thank
How's
you.
that for take two?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yesterday was a neighbor that's starting to nail something. And it was always a fun moment. So thank you, Justin. And where
Thank
can
you.
people find you?
I have a website. It's newedgeadvisors.com. And my email is justin@newedgeadvisors.com.
Okay,
So thank
thank
you,
you.
Martine. Yeah,
Have a good day.
you too. Bye-bye.